Imagine standing at a crossroads where every decision you make could mean life or death, not just for yourself, but for millions of people. The weight on your shoulders is unbearable. You hold the fate of entire nations in your hands. One wrong move, one harsh word, and the world could spiral into chaos. This is the harsh reality facing leaders in the Middle East today, especially when it comes to the fragile and dangerous tension between Iran and Israel. Now, close your eyes and picture this. Centuries ago, a king named Solomon faced enemies just as fierce, just as threatening. But instead of choosing war, Solomon chose peace. Not because he was weak, but because he was wise, wiser than anyone before or after him. His choice changed history. Yet today's leaders, surrounded by even deadlier weapons and more complex challenges, often choose the opposite: conflict, fear, war. You might wonder, why does this ancient king's story matter to me? What difference does it make to my life? The answer is simple. Every choice made in those distant halls of power echoes down to you, to your family, to your world, because peace or war isn't just politics. It's the difference between safety and fear, hope and despair. Solomon inherited a kingdom surrounded by enemies. His father, King David, had won many battles, but Solomon knew constant war would only bring ruin. So he sought something greater, wisdom, and God granted it more abundantly than to any man before. The Bible tells us, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Proverbs 15:1. This wasn't just a saying for Solomon, it was his way of life, his legacy. Instead of meeting aggression with aggression, Solomon used diplomacy, alliances, understanding. He built bridges instead of walls. He chose to listen, even when his enemies were sharpening their swords. Imagine the courage that took to look your enemy in the eye and say, "Let us find peace." To extend a hand when everyone else expected a sword. But today, the world seems to have forgotten Solomon's lesson. Look at Iran and Israel, two nations with a long history of mistrust, hostility, and tension. Weapons pile up, sanctions, threats, and every move brings the world closer to the edge. But what if today's leaders followed Solomon's example? What if they chose understanding over dominance, wisdom over weapons? What if they believed that peace, no matter how fragile it was, worth pursuing? Just imagine a world where diplomacy replaces destruction. Think for a moment about the people living in those regions. Mothers waking up each morning praying their children return safely, fathers working tirelessly to build a future in the shadow of war, children dreaming of a world without sirens, without bomb shelters. These aren't distant strangers. They're people just like you and me. They deserve peace. You deserve peace. It's easy to feel powerless, watching from afar. But never forget this. Every great change starts with one small decision. Solomon chose wisdom instead of war. And you can be part of that change. You can demand peace. You can reject hatred. You can embody what Solomon lived. So why does war feel like the default? Because peace is hard. It demands more than bullets or speeches. Peace means humility. It means risking pride. It means seeing your enemy as human, flawed, fearful, and fragile, just like you. Solomon knew that. He didn't avoid battle out of fear. He transcended it through wisdom. And this isn't just about nations. You face conflict too, in your home, in your own heart. Every time anger rises, every time tension creeps in, you have a choice. You can fuel the fire or calm the storm. The Bible says, "A gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit." Proverbs 15:4. Peace doesn't start on a battlefield. It starts inside you. The conflict between Iran and Israel runs deep, but so does the potential for peace. Solomon's reign was filled with trade, with alliances, with mutual respect even from former enemies. He understood that peace builds something war never can: prosperity for rulers and for the people. War destroys everything: homes, dreams, lives. The Bible says, "Better is a dry morsel with quiet than a house full of feasting with strife." Proverbs 17:1. What good is victory if it costs you everything? And you might ask, what difference can I make? You are not powerless. You have a voice. You have a heart. And you have influence more than you think. You can speak peace. Demand peace. Because the Bible reminds us, a wise man turns away wrath, but a fool stirs up anger. Proverbs 29:11. So, what kind of person will you be? Real strength isn't in bombs or tanks. It's in restraint, in patience, in grace. Whoever is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city. Proverbs 16:32. The greatest victory is over the war inside. When you hear the next headline about conflict, remember Solomon. Remember that peace is possible, even when it feels impossible. And remember, peace begins with you, in your home, in your heart, in the words you speak, in the spirit you carry, because peace is not just a political goal, it's a human need, and it's your responsibility. So when the world feels dark, be the light. When hate is loud, speak peace. When war feels inevitable, choose wisdom, choose courage, choose Solomon's path, choose life.